And we're just welcoming people and asking you to say where you're from. You can just type in the chat box where you've dialed in from today. That would be lovely. Deborah saying hello from Hawaii. Lucky you, Deborah. Dear friend, I'm so happy to see you from Korea. Saying you can't install the camera, but it's really lovely to know that you're there. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome, everybody. Oh, hello, Ray. Hi, Aurelia from Denmark. How lovely to see you. And our friend Ray from Ireland. What a treat to have you with us. I'm seeing my friend Brian there as well, from America. Welcome, Brian. Hi, Sammy from Hansby. How exciting to see you there. Here's Jennifer just joined us.
We've got lovely Jules.
Ah, Jules, hi, hon.
Susan Mackenzie. Hello, Susan.
Susan, hello. Welcome from Canada.
So popping in. Moira's just joined.
Oh, hey, Moira. We're getting quite the international gathering here, aren't we? Angelica from Denmark is joining us, which is lovely. And Loretta from South Africa. Hey, Loretta.
Nikki's just joined.
Hey, Nikki.
Hi, Norma Jean. So anyone who's just joining, we're asking everyone just to put in the chat box where you're from, so we can start to see our international family as well as our local one, global family.
Oh, Amanda, hello. Amanda's just popped in. Hi, Alka. Nara. Hi. Elaine in Toronto. Hi, Elaine. And hello, Dee in London. This is so exciting, seeing our Colors family gathering together from all corners of the globe. Really exciting. And of course, you're welcome to switch your video off if you'd rather not have your lovely faces, though, although it's very nice for us to be able to see your faces. Really, truly, we do love to see you. But if you prefer to be anonymous, then you can do that. That's entirely up to you. Really pleased to say that the book has been going out into quite a number of countries worldwide as well. I've been, yes, Ray, there it is. I've been a busy bee, sending the books off to various different countries around the world. It's been very exciting to see the interest from all over the globe. Hi, Lisa in Bath. Hello, hello. Ah, and Nadira sends love, says Moira. She was called to work and had to miss the event. Ah, thanks, Moira, for letting us know. And please send Nadira our love. And obviously, you'll be able to pick this up later on the recording. Yes, Loretta, we're very pleased you could connect as well. Load shedding in South Africa at the moment, so we didn't know if we were going to have Melissie. For a little while there, it looked as if she might not have been able to make it, but phew, thankfully she's here. Hello, Zane. Thank you for joining us from Bath in the UK. This is just so exciting. As I said earlier, we've had almost 100 people register to come on this evening's call, which is just a wonderful response. So we're going to wait just another minute or two to see if other people want to join us, and then we'll get started very, very soon. My dear friend in Korea, Youngsuk Park, nice to meet you all. Korea, it's 2 a.m. Oh, that is such commitment. Thank you so much for joining us. Children are sleeping in quiet, she says. I'm not good at English, so I'm working hard on translator. Please understand if translation is wrong. It's good to see your face. Bless you. It's really lovely to have you with us. Thank you so much. It's really lovely to have our Canadian friends and family here online with us.
One of the lovely things about Colour Mirrors is it's actually really global. We've got Denmark, you know, we've got all these countries around the world. So Europe and France and the US, as well as England, South Africa. That's wonderful. The wisdom of Colour Mirrors, I'm kind of sure that a lot of you have got what has been described as a Bible, and it is truly been a massive, massive gift. And I think Melissie and Korani, you know, you've birthed this for us, you know, not only that, but Melissie, I guess you birthed a system, and I guess one of the first things to say is happy birthday. I don't know whether everybody knows, but 18 years old, you know, Colour Mirrors system is 18 years old. And what a gift.
Yes, Moira was very clever about that. She said Pippa's book was kind of for our toddler stage, and this is now the adult going out into the world. So I really love that it kind of coincided with the 18th birthday, which I certainly hadn't thought about. I don't know if you'd planned it that way, Korani, but I certainly had not realized how clever we were being.
No, not at all. No, I also hadn't realized at all, but how perfect. Yeah.
And Korani, I mean, you know, as you were you've been so deep in this process. I think you told me that you've been sort of 15 hours a day, and you and Melissie would be pinging each other messages, but I think one of the big things that you've gone through, the process you've gone through, is really being in divine flow with the process. And I'd love you just to share a little bit more about that experience of writing and bringing this through, if you can. Thank you.
Absolutely. It really was a life-changing experience for me to be involved in this book in such a deep way. It's been about 2 years that I've been working on it really solidly, particularly the last year. And Melissie as well, of course. I've had the job of weaving it together, weaving your stories that all of you wonderfully have shared with us, weaving Melissie's wisdom with the words that have been coming through from myself, weaving the wisdom of Colour Mirrors into the words that you read when you pick up the book. And all along it had its own flow, it had its own timing. There was nothing I could do to speed it up or slow it down. And a lot of people were kind of saying, you know, this book, I'm really looking forward to this book. Is it coming? Is it coming? And I'd keep saying, yep, it's coming, but it will only come when it's ready. And so my job was really to be in that flow, in that state of flow, so that I could absolutely be connected in with whatever wanted to present itself to come through for the book at any given time. And sometimes even when once we finished the first draft, I then went back through the whole book 7 times. So in other words, I was experiencing each of the bottles 7 times, which is quite massive. And so that put me into a state of divine flow just by doing that. It meant that I was on track with whatever I needed to do in any given day. It just seemed the universe just seemed to present me with whatever I needed on any given day. So when I was doing the editing process, for example, sometimes I would wake up and I was often 4 a.m. I was up and working, and I would wake up at 4 and I would already have something flowing in my mind, and it would be like, go to that bottle and you need to just add a bit about that, and bing, I would go and look and there it was. And sometimes I would spot things that I hadn't made clear in a previous read through. And I would just get downloaded with the information and know exactly where to go to, which page, which bottle needed work on. It felt like just being in the most exquisite state of flow the whole time. I felt as if everything in my life just backed me up. You know, I had all the support I needed. I had all the resources I needed. My darling husband was just totally supporting me in the background. My friends and my family were there, giving me whatever I needed. The universe just kept on showing up for me again and again and again. And what a blissful, beautiful state that was to be in as I was writing. And working with Melissie, of course, is always just a joy. So really, and I hope that when you read the book, when you feel it, when you pick it up, you'll get a sense of that flow, and you'll get a sense of that joy that we both had and have for this book. I know already I've been getting some beautiful messages from people, really fabulous feedback from people who've received the book. One lady said that she gave a startled postman a hug because she was so excited when the book arrived. And your messages have meant the world to us. And please continue to share if you are enjoying it, if you've got it already. You know, we really do love to get your feedback about it. But yes, Catherine, thank you. It's been an amazing process.
Thank you. And Melissie, for you too, I mean, you started, you know, with 18 years ago, the words came to you, you know, originally, and the messages of the bottles, and obviously we've gone through, I mean, everybody that's trained in it, or even just loves it and works with the system. How has it been for you to really go into the messages in a different way and just really, I guess, bring more to them?
You know, I don't know that I did. In a way, I mean, we were joking about this, Korani and I, because I felt like the husband. My job was kind of 10 seconds right at the beginning of the process, and she had to grow the baby and birth it. So I was holding and holding, and then at the end, as you saw over the weekend, I was the one handing out cigars, really, and that was kind of my job in the whole thing. And I have to tell you, if I had to write this book, it would have maybe been 18 pages long. Korani is the one with the voice and the words and the magic. And really, I mean, she says it's our book, but I want to tell you 80% of it is Korani's incredible talent, hard work, commitment, joy in doing it, joy in dragging me along. It was all just very fabulous to be part of it as the bystander.
Well, I think the bystander that also created the system 18 years ago. I mean, you know, I love you for your humility, your humbleness, but I guess the thing is that this is why we're all here, is to celebrate Kalamiras as well, you know, and what you brought through and how the system just keeps giving to us, and how it's brought a family, you know, a tribe together across the globe. And I guess, did you ever envisage that when you started it?
Not at all, not at all. Well, you know, one hoped. And I had little glimpses of it in my kind of wildest dreams, but didn't really think it would ever do this. And I have to then also just say, without Moira, not a lot would have happened. So really, the pillars of Kalamiras have always been the people that somehow got drawn into it, to our deep delight. We've attracted the most incredibly fabulous people, really, around you, and you'll see them, and absolutely, because it's so lovely to have you as part of it.
Well, I think that's the thing. It's a system that's certainly for, you know, for our awakening, and for our journey of our spiritual growth. So why don't we do that the first prize now, which is winning a Kalamiras bottle. And then what we will do after that is we'll just move on to Melissie's going to talk and open up about I guess the theme that we've put this around, which is 2020, and of course that will be the awakening bottle. So if you guys give me 1 second, I'm going to do random generator, and the number that's come out is 35, and that will be Imogen French. So I don't know whether Imogen French is online with us at the moment. I haven't seen her popping up in her names, but we will let her know that she's
yes, there she is.
Is she there?
We've just had a yes. We've just had a yes from Imogen.
Well, Imogen, hello, my lovely. I know you're based in the UK. So yes, you've just won our prize of a Kalamiras bottle. So congratulations to you for that. So Melissie, I'm going to hand over to you, my lovely, just to introduce the theme of 2020 for us, please.
I have to tell you, this is not my best thing to do to me. My brother-in-law, the English colonel, came to visit, and the first time he came, he wanted to go back to England and tell a joke with a South African accent. And so somebody told him, you must pick a word. What's the one thing that South Africans say that amuse you the most? And of course it was 20. So here I have to now go with my South African accent with 2020. And I can't even tell you how that has blocked me in the last 10 years, because every time I get to 20, I'm like, oh, but I can just hear him telling his joke. So 2020 is what we will be doing. And what I really thought about it is, it's a double awakening. And if any of you think that's not an incredibly important thing, it really is. We are finally, the world is waking up, and it feels to me as if what we've lived through this last year has been, 19's been a challenging year for very many people, because it's kind of that shift from the teens into the 20s. It's a real shift in human consciousness and in that shifting, the dark seemed to have really stood up as a last look. So we've all had incredibly interesting dark things to live through and look at, and globally as well as personally for lots of people. But if you look at bottle 20, it really gives you the answers so beautifully, elegantly, clearly, because it's this lovely thing that is copper at the bottom with deep magenta over the top. Now, I mean, what that says is you've got to stay grounded. You're not going to awaken a foot above the ground. You're not going to do it in the clouds somewhere. You're going to have to be firmly, firmly on the earth. And you're going to have to love it. You're going to commit to being on the earth and loving the earth and being an aspect of Gaia and feeling her love for you as you have to feel and express your love to her. And then above that sits the magenta, which is the soul star. So it really is that deep connection with our soul and bringing that down to earth. How perfect is that? I mean, it cannot actually be better as an awakening. And it's so interesting because the copper has never been my kind of easy go-to place. But in this one, there is such a clarity and a music to it for me, because it's so singing its song right now. It's finally, it's time. And to have a double 20 is really just spectacular. So it is absolutely about waking up to why we're here, and waking the planet up to the light and to our souls and to what is going to be an incredibly amazing new way of being on earth. And it's got to happen. I mean, we've squeezed her to a point where she's not going to survive if we don't awaken. So it's absolutely important. It's absolutely imperative that we do. And it's time, and it's perfect. So we're all sitting here ready with all the tools to step into that new dispensation. Korani, do you want to say a bit about G20 at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the color mirror system, for those of you who are a bit newer to us, as well as bottles that just have a number like number 20, which Melissie just shared with you, we have a set of Gaia bottles that all relate to Gaia, to the earth. And so we also have a bottle called G20. And bottle G20, I don't know if Catherine, if you can share an image on screen for us of bottle G20.
Can you? I've got one.
Oh. I've got the I'd got the other one ready. I've got another one ready, so hold on.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Let me, if you just keep talking, I will.
Yeah, for sure. So G20 has got a beautiful name. Its name is Abode of Bliss. And what we talk about with the Gaia or G bottles is that they're kind of like the next step on. There it is. Can you all see that? Gorgeous platinum over pale green. And what we talk about with the Gaia bottles is that they kind of give us where the number bottle, so number 20, gives us where we're at and what's happening, what's present, what's current, what's real. What the Gaia bottles give us is what's possible. They give us the potential. They tell us what's out there waiting for us, and particularly with those platinum Gaias, of which G20 is one. The platinums have this incredible cosmic, galactic kind of energy. They're called Gaia bottles, but they have a very cosmic feeling to them. And so G20, Abode of Bliss, to me is all about awakening to the abode of bliss within. What happens with when we connect with our divine self, when we really get connected with who we truly are, is that the bliss comes, it's an inside job. It doesn't come from, oh, this happened and so I'm happy, or this happened and so therefore my life is good. It comes from, it's an internal state. It's a beautiful state, an internal state of bliss, of connection. And Abode of Bliss kind of gives us the potential and the possibility to find that here and now in our lives, and to share that with others, and to make that the reality on the planet. So that, because there's so much, as Melissie said, there's been a lot of darkness coming up to the surface, which is always what happens when a lot of light is shone. A lot of people are in a state of despair or discouragement about the state of the planet and the state of the earth and the climate crisis and the ongoing conflicts on the planet. But the truth is that the more we continue to hold the vision for an abode of bliss for all of us, for every single being on the planet, every human, every animal, every sentient being, the more we continue to hold the vision for that, that's what creates it. So it's our job to use bottle 20 to awaken us, to make us remember and recognize the truth that we are divine as well as human, and that everything and everyone is divine. And then it's bottle G20's job to help us to keep our focus on the light, to keep our focus on the joy, to keep our focus on what we're wanting to create, rather than, oh, look how bad it's been, or look how terrible it's got. Let's keep focusing on how beautiful life really truly can be. And then we create a home, an abode of bliss for everyone.
And the other thing about G20 is that it's the combination of the head and the heart. I really love that. That's kind of the key to the whole human condition. If our heads and our hearts can meet, then we've got world peace. Then we've got an abode of bliss to carry on in. Then our earth is renewed in its entirety.
Yeah, and G20 is so much about the oneness, you know, where so often we focus on separation and what keeps us separate from others, what keeps us different. And, you know, you could say bottle G20 is about oneness. In truth, every single bottle in the Color Mirrors system is about that. Every single bottle is about reconnecting us with the truth of our divinity and reconnecting us with the truth that we are all one. But there is a special kind of sense of that in G20, isn't there, Melissie? And it's got that relationship with the higher heart chakra, the connection, the chakra between the throat and the heart, which is the abode, which is called the abode of bliss, and it is the seat of oneness. It's kind of where we all connect with everyone else.
Yes, yes, it really.
No, go Melissie. I was just thanking you both for, you know, just for sharing that with us all. And but please continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue.
No, I wasn't. I was waffling because I didn't know what to say at that point. So thank you.
Oh, well, I think did you either of you want to read anything from the book on G20 or 20?
Korani.
Yeah, we could do. I'd also, well, I have a little meditation to share, and Melissie, I think you might have one as well. So maybe we could do that. Melissie, you go first, because your one I think was to connect with bottle 20, and then I can follow on with.
Okay. Okay. So just take a deep breath and close your eyes and just be with your body for a moment and just feel where you're holding tension, and breathe into it and relax, and just really take this moment to be very quiet with yourself and just really relax into it. And then feel your energy moving down your body, down your legs, and move that energy into the earth through the soles of your feet and all the way down into the earth, right down to the golden molten center of the earth. And when you connect with the gold of the earth, feel the warmth, feel the joy, feel the bliss, feel what the earth holds inside, remembering that you too are absolutely part of the earth. You are made of exactly the same material. Every single particle of earth is also within you. And then as you connect with that golden energy at the center of the earth, start drawing it up through the earth, pulling that energy up into your feet, up into your legs, up into your hips, up into your energy centers, the base, the sacral, and into your solar plexus. And as the gold of the earth hits the gold of your solar plexus. Just breathe in. I am ancient, powerful, being of light, being of earth. I was never not that. And just feel that expansion and begin to feel how connected you are to the earth. And then feel how loved you are by the earth. She holds you like all of her children, like any mother would, and she loves you. Let yourself feel that. For those of us who came from different planets where this has never felt like home, it's time to change our minds. We're in bodies made up of exactly the same stuff, and we are loved. And it's time to acknowledge that. And then feel to the earth. Let yourself feel how much love you are holding for her. Let yourself spread that love through the earth and through the earth to all the beings on the earth. Everything created through love, the earth and everything on it, as well as you. And then move that energy up into your heart. And as you breathe it into your heart, you breathe in, we are the I am. We are connected. We are the holders of the love of the earth and the love of the divine in our hearts. And then move that energy up into your throat and your third eye and into your crown. We are connected to angels and beings of light. And we are all of it. And it is all of us. And then move it up into your soul star, into your true self, into your highest aspect. And just hold that energy. You are the bridge. You are the bridge between heaven and earth. You are the bridge between body and soul. You are the rainbow bridge. And you hold the light for all of humanity. That is why you exist. And then as you be there, deeply connected with your higher self and with the earth, just ask the question, is there anything more they need you to know at this moment? Does the earth need to tell you, or does your higher self have a message? Just be open to the information. And when you complete with it, on an out breath that's comfortable, open your eyes to a new moment in your own time. Take your time. So there we have bottle 20, perfectly integrated.
Oh, thank you, Melissie. That was absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I think that's what bottle 20 does. In the magenta and the copper, it reminds us that I think everyone will, yeah, feel into the bridge and earth and being both and being a part of both, which is absolutely beautiful. So I think what we'll do before we move on with Korani, just with before G20 again, my lovely, I will do the second prize, which is a signed copy of the book. And just to let you all know, we do still have some signed copies still available. So if you haven't got one and you are looking for one, then obviously please contact Korani and she'll be able to get you some signed copies. So I'll go to the whiz of the number generator, the random number generator. Ooh, and the winning number for the book is glasses. Lorianne Vita. Is Lorianne with us? I can't see you, but she has won. Congratulations, Lorianne. She has won a signed copy of the book, The Wisdom of Colour Mirrors, which is really what we're here to celebrate, and to be able to just come together in this space is really wonderful. So we're going to have, if we go back to Korani, which will be really gorgeous to be able to connect with G20 again, and then just remind you all, we're going to do some questions after this next part. So there'll be questions and answers. So not to sort of necessarily start thinking completely instantly, let's stay present where we're at. But then when we'll move on and have your questions and answers, which you can put to both Korani and Melissie. So I'll hand over to you, Korani.
Okay, thank you so much, Catherine. Just a little note on that about the signed copies. Very, very few left. I mean, literally not even half a dozen. So I am holding those. If anybody does want a signed copy, you just need to get in touch with me and we can arrange that. Okay, so Melissie, thank you so much for that gorgeous meditation. So beautifully grounding and yet expansive at the same time. And that's the joy of connecting with the copper and the magenta together, the kind of the bottom of the color spectrum and the top of the color spectrum, bringing them together. So G20, we talked about a little bit earlier, the beautiful pale platinum and pale gold bottle, which is called Abode of Bliss. Before we get on to doing another short meditation with that bottle, I just want to say a little bit more about 2020. For me, when I started tuning into what 2020 might be about, the word that came loud and clear was potential. This is about potentiality for all of us individually and collectively. So let's feel into, you know, what is possible for us all. What is the potential that's lying dormant within each of us and within the planet and within humanity that we can begin to activate in 2020? I feel as if all the energies are going to be lining up for us to start activating what's the potential that's lying within. So what are we going to do with it? How are we going to use it? How are we going to share it? It feels really exciting, actually. And I think that 2020 is also going to be a lot about change. There will be undoubtedly change for all of us. That's a fact of life, and happens always. But there is this sense that there's going to be shifting sands. And I think just to encourage everyone to just be present as things change, just be in that kind of state of centeredness and connection wherever possible, because then change isn't scary, it's actually exciting. And I think when we can come from that place of, oh, wow, what's happening now? And oh my goodness, what's possible? And connecting in with the joy of change rather than the fear of it, then it becomes a wonderful and an easy thing to do rather than a struggle. So those were the kind of the main key elements that came up for me around 2020. And then I began to tune in with Bottle G20 and this beautiful sense of springtime. And of course, here in the UK, it's actually depths of winter. It's not in the slightest bit spring. And so G20 came like a little breath of fresh air when I was connecting in with it just now. And it has that sense of new beginnings, which I also think is going to be very relevant for 2020. But it's quite tender and delicate. And again, if we look at the picture of it, which I think Catherine will show us a little bit later on when we're doing the meditation, it's quite delicate. So I think there's an energy there of nurturance, of really looking after yourselves, taking care, being gentle with yourselves, especially if there's a lot of change going on around you, to just really support yourself and honor yourself as the earth does. You know, that's one of her amazing gifts, is how much she honors and supports and nurtures us. And I think if we can all take a leaf out of Gaia's book and learn how to do that for ourselves, then we're in a much better place to do that for other people when they're also going through change or perhaps difficult time. So I'm going to invite you now to just close your eyes and get comfortable and pick up where we left off from Melissie, from that beautiful place of centeredness and connection and being the bridge between heaven and earth. And I want you to just begin to see or visualize yourself in a quiet woodland, a still and peaceful and beautiful place where the sun shines gently through the trees, making dappled light, and you feel the light on your face, soft and gentle, as you stand or sit, and you feel the energy of the trees, and you hear the birds around you, and you tune into the beauty of nature and of Gaia, our planet. And you take a deep breath and you feel yourself just letting go. Feel yourself relaxing into the space around you. There's nothing to do and there's nowhere to be. Just the stillness, the peace, and the beauty all around you. And you give a sigh and you let go even more and relax. And then you begin to feel into this place called the higher heart, in the center of your chest, just between your heart chakra and your throat chakra, round about where the thymus gland sits, just above the center of your chest. And you begin to draw the peace and the stillness of the woodland into that higher heart center, filling that part of you with this quiet, peaceful light. Imagine yourself drawing it into your body. And you may like to visualize, see or sense the colors of platinum and palest green flowing into and filling your higher heart chakra, and then spilling out into the rest of your body. And feeling the cosmic light of platinum and the soft, delicate, gentle light of pale green. Letting your cells relax and unwind. Letting your body feel the peace. And then you begin to see or imagine or feel an abode of bliss, a home for your soul and your body. And this may be an actual place that you know and love. It may be somewhere that you've imagined, or somewhere you've never been, but which calls to you now. And it is a place and a space of bliss. So what does that feel like for you? What does it look like? Just let it emerge, your very own abode of bliss. And really let yourself feel into it. Let your body feel it. Let your heart resonate with it. Let your soul open to it. You are the creator of your own abode of bliss. And as you feel into it, as you sense it, as you see it, remember now that this is who you are. This is your truth. This is your essence. This is your own divine light. And as you connect with this light within you, this abode of bliss within you, more and more in your daily life, this is what you bring through as you connect with other people. This is what you begin to shine and share onto the earth. And so when you feel ready to, in your own time, and there's no rush, just begin to take a few deep breaths and reconnect with your body and the seat that you're sitting on, and slowly start to come back, but bring that sense of bliss and peace and ease with you. You don't have to leave it behind. It's in you. You have your very own abode of bliss inside of you. So bring it with you back to the call, back to everyone, and just see how everyone shines when you open your eyes, when you feel ready to, in your own time. And if you would like to tap in more to the energy of 2020, I'm going to be offering a 2-hour Zoom call like this one on the 20th of January 2020 from 7 till 9 p.m. GMT, and you'll have to work out what time that is if you're in a different country. And I'm going to just share with you for a moment my screen, if I can, which doesn't look like I can, so no, we'll forget about that. Okay. I'll just tell you then. It's called Awakening, Activating and Aligning in 2020. And it's the opportunity to experience a powerful process of awakening, activation and alignment so that you can bring more of who you truly are into your daily life and connect more deeply with your passion, your purpose and your calling. And it's a mere £20 to take part. I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you, and I will put a link in the chat so that you can see where to sign up for that. It's going to be, just as I say, 2 hours of pure activation, energy transmission, meditation, connection with the energies to really help you activate and awaken to your greater truth in 2020. So I will share that in the chat shortly. Thank you for the opportunity to share that with you right now. And I'll hand back to you, Catherine.
Thank you, Korani. Well, that was just so beautiful. And I think, you know, the energy, when we work with a colour mirror system, we've obviously got those beautiful first bottles, the oils of 1 to 36, and then the opportunity to really look at our true selves in a true way of who we really are from the G's onwards. So that's just, the abode of bliss was just wonderful. So everybody, why don't we move into some questions and answers? We're going to be doing the final prize giving at the very end, which was an opportunity to have a session with Melissie on Skype or Zoom, or however Melissie chooses to use that. So if anybody has any questions about this wonderful book, The Wisdom of Colour Mirrors, please pop that into the chat now. I will start it off while we're sort of waiting for messages to come up. It's interesting because a couple of the bottles' names have changed. So would you like to, there's only a couple, but would you like to just share how that came about? Because I think when I was sort of reading it, I was, oh, hang on a minute, where did that one go to? Where did it was G30, 32 and G33 especially. So yeah, that's quite curious.
And Korani, over to you, my darling. I can't remember why we did that.
Okay, so G32, which is one of the silver Gaias, it's I was going to say rose gold. No, it's not rose gold, it's rose pink and silver. It used to be called something like Garden of Light, something like that. It always had an energy of a garden. But as we were creating the book and we were working with the bottles, we got to this one and we both just went, that's not its name. We could both feel the energy of the rose and just how significant the rose was to the story of bottle G32. And it's often about physical perfection, that bottle, and people who want everything to be physically absolutely perfect, who want everything to look perfect. It has that kind of purity of the rose and great beauty. It has connotations of beauty. And so the more we worked with it, the more we just went, no, it has to be called the rose. So G32 is now called the rose. And G33 was called Tree of Love. And that was kind of like to represent the tree of life, but obviously because again it was rose pink, we wanted to connect it in with love. But Melissie just said one day, you know, I've always seen this one as being about love and miracles. And bottle 33 is called Love and Magic. And so suddenly there was this name, Love and Miracles, for G33. And it just felt so perfect that we decided that that was going to be it. Well, the system decided that was going to be its name from now on.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I don't think we changed any other names, but we did rewrite the words for quite a number of the bottles, particularly the Gaia bottles. We did really work on kind of making the descriptions perhaps a little bit more accessible than some of them had been before. So if you haven't received them yet, we will be sending out the new descriptions to everybody, anyone who's on our mailing list soon, because we just kind of wanted to make some of them a little bit more accessible than they had been before. Many of them are still very, very similar to what they were, but some of them just felt like they needed a bit of tweaking as we got deeper into the sense of what each bottle was about. Then the bottle messages also had a little bit of tweaking here and there. So nobody got any questions about the book at this point? Tell us, those of you who've read the book, or I can't imagine anybody having read it from cover to cover yet, given that it's 279 rather large pages, but any of you who've dipped into it, tell us what you like about it, or what you're intrigued about by it. Or Runara says it keeps making me cry. Bless you. I've heard that a few times, but in a good way. But yeah, tell us, is there a particular thing you like about the book? I know many of you have told us how much you love the stories, reading other people's stories about how they've used the bottles and how the bottles have touched them. And that was really a wonderful part of creating the book, was gathering all your amazing stories. So please do tell us, give us your feedback, ask us your questions. This is your opportunity.
Okay, favorite bedtime.
Lovely. Thank you, Dee. Oh, you're all shy. Okay.
I can ask a question then, and I can, and actually, it's a little bit about the essences. Just you know, you've changed them slightly. It feels like they're more grounded. It's like I am. Tell us how that came about, to just all the essences actually sort of standing in their own kind of real truth and power when we use them. So how did that come about, writing them?
Melissie, do you want to talk about that?
What I remember is that it was when the archangels, we were writing about the archangels, and they kind of came out and had a voice. They said, I am Michael, and this is what I be and do. And then Korani, who has no filter or control, said to me, so what are you going to say about the other angels? Have they also got a voice? And are you going to write all of that? So what I say to Korani is yes, because it doesn't help saying no. She's like a little terrier. So I said, oh, all right then. And then it was an absolute delight to do it, because suddenly they were very, very chatty. And so each one had its voice and its story. And it was a lovely thing to do, wasn't it, Korani? We had huge fun with that.
Oh, we really did. So Melissie would tune in and get what she got, and then I would tune in and hear what they were saying to me, and then we wove them together. So we've kind of got double voices coming through. But really, I hope that you love that part of the book, because it was such a beautiful part to be creating, to really get a sense of what these angels were about, what the dragons were about, the elements, and all the other essences in the system. To have them speak in their own voices was just an absolute joy. And again, I cried quite a few times when I read those messages, or when as we were writing them, they were just so beautiful and so heartfelt. I'd like to just share some of the messages that you're all sharing in the chat now, because these are so lovely, and thank you. Really appreciate you making them. So Nikki says, I love that it brings people's experiences of the bottles, and it opens up more possibilities for how each of us can evolve. Thank you, Nikki. Amanda Bradbury, thanks Amanda. You say it's so thorough, so complete, and so perfect. And Ray says it feels like very old knowledge being brought to us. Yeah, it kind of felt like that as we were doing it. Deborah, it's what it was said earlier. It feels so much more grown up, like they're really present and in themselves, if that makes sense. Completely, absolutely. And Nikki says it's great support system for this ride on Earth. And for sure it's a ride, isn't it? Lisa, just loving diving into it every day, sharing with my clients and my kids too, loving the more in-depth information. Thank you, Lisa. That's so lovely. Ride on Earth, Deborah says, like a ride on mower. Cute. Okay, and this one says user, so I'm not sure who that is. Says it's a wonderful book. I read it when I get up and when I go to sleep, and I can't wait to get to the next section, but have to pause all day so that what I've read sinks in. Absolutely wonderful. Oh, bless you. Thank you. And Nikki, I ask a question to my guides and then open the book at a random page, and there is my answer. Fantastic. I love that. So, oh my goodness, there's loads of comments. Catherine, do you want to read some of them?
Yeah, sure. So Susan Mackenzie, hi Susan. So when I received the write-up changes, it just made sense. I love the essences and the changes that I have read so far. Absolutely. Raymond wants to know what it was like to open the first package that had the actual book, Korani.
Oh my God, I can't tell you how deliriously excited I was. It was really quite extraordinary. I got 10 boxes arrived on my doorstep, and I could feel them coming, obviously, for about 2 days beforehand. But when they actually arrived, it was just like, well, my heart just melted, actually. And to open it up, in fact, I was quite scared. I have to tell you the truth, I was quite scared. It was a little bit nerve-wracking. But the moment that I opened them, it was just like, oh, there it is. There's our baby. It really was, yeah, very beautiful.
Thank you. And I love what actually Ray's asked you another question. It's like, in what way have you changed writing the book? And I guess that's a question for both you, Melissie, and Korani.
Yeah.
I got older.
You'll never get anything sensible out of Melissie when you ask her a question like that. She got older, yeah. How have we changed? It's, for me, I can almost not even look back and see who I was 2 years ago when I began this, because I don't even remember who that was. The changes have been profound. I've been working in such a deep way with this system. The changes couldn't help but be profound. The thing that Catherine talked about earlier, the divine flow, that's something that should become a natural part of my life now. I don't have to think about it. It's just, the flow is just there. A real sense of knowing my path and just kind of trusting the flow of the universe to show me the next steps. A much deeper sense of connection with Colour Mirrors and with everything that it has to share. A much greater sense of my part in the world, my role, maybe, my place, and a huge and deep gratitude. The gratitude is just ongoing and constant all the time. And that's just grown exponentially since working on this book.
Thank you. That's really beautiful. So there's a question here. Have you changed the energies of the essences or just the info? That's Jennifer.
No, it's just the info. No, the energy is the energy. That isn't changeable, really. So no, it's still the same.
We've got Kath Roberts in the UK saying, is bringing a deeper healing in the moment, as I've been reading them in my sessions, and I've noticed so many youngsters coming forward right now.
Oh, lovely.
And there's another one from Monica. This system and you folks are so important to my life. My life has changed, and I'm so grateful to Melissie and everyone. Oh, beautiful, Monica.
Oh.
Korani, do you want to pick up one here from Linda?
Yeah, we've got, I've actually got a couple of others here. Susan Mackenzie saying, can hardly wait to receive our books. Yeah, they're on their way. Renara says, my beloved Moldavite wasn't included. I'm so sorry, Renara. Moldavite's not an official part of the system. So we could only include the ones that were officially part of the system, or the book would have been 3 times as big as it already is. We've got, yeah, Linda saying, thank you so very much. 2020, new home, new beginnings, and CM course. I am so ready for this. How fantastic, Linda. Thank you very much for joining us. Kath's got to run. Bless you for joining us, Kath. Thank you. We are going to close shortly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for connecting with us tonight. What an absolute joy. One of the most amazing things about Colour Mirrors is the sense of family and connection between us all. Doesn't matter where we are in the world. There's just this extraordinary sense of family. Joanne says, I'm excitedly awaiting my copy. I look forward to reading and experiencing the power and stories the book holds. It's a true honor to share my bottle experiences and how it's changed my life. Thank you, Melissie and Korani. Thank you, Joanne, very much. And Jennifer sending love. And Young Suk says, is it unlikely that a book will be published in Korean? Well, Ray's already pushing us to get it published in Korean. So we will do our...
And Prem J said he will start doing something about that.
Yeah, we very much hope that Prem J will take that up.
Well, we just have one from Lisa, the lovely Lisa in Bath, and it feels like a special comforting friend on the table.
Oh,
Bless you, lovely.
So I'm going to just going to share with you quickly. If you haven't got, oh, well, actually, no, let's just wait. Let's do the prize draw first.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. So we'll do the last prize draw, everybody, which is this wonderful opportunity to have a session with Melissie. And, oh, that's an interesting number. It is number 29. And that is Emma Niels. So well done, Emma Niels. Congratulations to you. I'm not sure whether you're on the call tonight with us, but you have won. We'll get in touch with you. So well done to Emma Niels.
cool.
What were you going to share, my darling?
Right, so I was just going to share with you, well, first of all, there's a couple more comments just quickly. Lisa's got a friend who translates from Chinese into English, so that's great. Much love from Aurelia. And Leslie says, love the expanded Gaia meanings. They are so spot on. Huge gratitude. I was reading the meaning of bottle G32 last night, the rose, and explained my whole life in a few pages. I think it is the biggest healing moment for me to date. Wow, amazing. But what I was just going to say was, if you haven't got your copy of the book yet and you would like one, I'm going to type in the link just now, put in the chat box for you. We only have literally a handful of signed copies left, but we do have unsigned copies. The reason that there are signed copies are running out is because, of course, Melissie and I live thousands of miles away from each other. So we could only sign as many as we could sign when we were in the same place a couple of weeks ago at the launch. So now those have almost run out, but there are still a couple left. So message me, private message me on Facebook or send me an email if you'd like a signed one. And then after that, once all the signed ones have gone, we've got plenty of others left for you. So if you haven't got your copy yet and you'd like it, or you'd like to make a gift of one of a book for someone for Christmas, then get in touch with us via my website, and I've just put the link in the post. Thank you to everyone, and thank you particularly to Catherine for hosting this for us and for all the support you've given us during this whole time of writing, getting the book ready, and then the launches, the 2 launches that we've had so far. Really an enormous debt of gratitude to you, Catherine.
Kalamiras is in my heart and in my soul, and it's a language and a family and a tribe. And I guess, you know, having this amazing opportunity, and I have been fortunate to have little glimpses of it along the way, you know, and read it. And like many people, you know, I've turned to pages and it's you know, I see what's going on. Or Leslie's comment about the G32 and G33, you know, the rose and love and miracles. I was reading them really recently going, oh, wow, that's it, isn't it? You know, so I think every bottle in this incredible system just holds something for all of us. And so I'm humbled, and I'm honored, and it's a joy to be with you all. No, I would say please just keep sharing on Facebook, post in the Kalamiras page, just tell us what you're feeling, experiencing, because, you know, the more that we connect with this energy, the more really we're transforming and shifting. For all of us. So we've got lots of lovely thank yous. Angelica says thank you. Norma Jean, thank you. Renara, I think we all feel we belong, which is lovely. Sylvina, thank you. Elaine, thank you so much. Looking forward to getting the book.
So, and we will be posting the recording of this call tonight, so that if you came in late, you'll be able to watch it all the way through. And if any of you, you know, want to replay and see everybody's gorgeous faces again and feel the energies, then you'll be able to do that. So hopefully we'll be able to do that tomorrow. We'll be able to get that post up on social media tomorrow. Thank you, Moira, so much for being here. What a joy to have you with us. And Sammy, thank you. And Dee and Zane and everyone else. Oh, and Raymond, thank you. What a gorgeous comment. Catherine, you're the perfect person to bring us all together, and she so is.
Ah, yeah. Raymond, I didn't see that. Bless you. Thank you, darling.
Sadia, thank you. It's been lovely to connect like this, and with you, darling. And Loretta, thank you. Korani, Melissie and Catherine. Brian says thank you. Lots of love, everyone.
Yeah, lots of love and light to everybody.
Everybody, thank you so much for being here, and all the support over the years and years. I mean, 18 years we've been growing this family, and what a deep and ongoing joy it's been for me, certainly. And I'm always totally, totally blown away by the most incredibly beautiful people that join us. So every single last one of you, thank you so much for all of it. We love you. We do.